Deadline recently, and basically what I've come up with is it's pretty idiotic. I'm doing 7v7 for close range here. I've taken a Scar, both the Scar L and H, and I've tried to turn it into as close as a bolt gun as I can possibly get. Scar H here, it's decent, but the Scar L probably looks the most like a bolt gun. Magazine looks pretty similar. Of course, there's no stock, which does make recoil kind of crazy. I'm keeping to irons here, and there's a little cack rail on the bottom just to make it a little bit more comfortable while you blow your hand off with recoil. It's actually surprisingly okay. I've made 3 different variants. This was my first one. Oh, shoot. This was my first one. It's basically just a FAL with a 30-round magazine, muzzle brake, shortest possible barrel, and, well, no stock. Okay, so these maps are actually pretty ideal for it. You of course gotta remember to turn to full auto. Most of the time I'm just gonna be point shooting. I'm not actually gonna be aiming down sights, as the sheer amount of recoil is so high that aiming down sights would be, well, the advantage would be minimal. I'm seeing a green laser. There's no way that actually worked. No, that didn't. I'm dead. Nah. He's gotta be dead, bro. There's no way he's alive. Oh, and I'm dead. I think I got shot in the back there. As you can tell, recoil's extremely high. Oh, yeah, I got shot in the back. It does have about a stud of arm penetration, which is probably my go-to. I've played Deadline quite a bit for certain times, and I played during pre-alpha. It was when there was only 2 guns, basically. And then back then I'd probably put like the longest possible barrel on something and try to get the highest possible arm penetration. But I mean, it does turn out that you do get pretty high armor penetration off 5.56, like you do in real life, just because it's a higher velocity round. And barrel length on a 7.62 doesn't really increase arm penetration too much. It does help a decent bit. I mean, it's certainly noticeable, but oh, I just killed myself. It does help a decent bit, but you don't lose too much from a shorter barrel. And also 5.56 is very comparable when it comes to just sheer arm penetration. So, oh, there we go. Shot him. Probably gonna be another one down here. I'm gonna hold this corner. You go there. I'll cover this. We're good. I put a 30-round mag in this one. I'm not sure how many rounds the bolter carries in lore. Yeah, I was gonna win that one. Don't know why I was running into combat. I'm not sure how much ammo the bolt gun actually carries in lore. Given that it's Warhammer, it's probably plot based. If the character needs extra ammo, the character gets extra ammo. But from the size of the shells, which are 75 caliber, the size of the magazine and how it's single stack, I'd assume it'd be like 10, 20 rounds. But since this is 7.62, we can get away with putting a little bit more in here. And this is probably, it's almost as fun as running a pistol for me. Because I used to be one of those people who would run around with a pistol like a rat and just shoot people. Because, well, headshots are still kills. And the recoil is pretty low on a pistol if you use the right ammo. This is basically the exact opposite. What I basically just did there was... Oh, yeah, I'm dead there. I can't point shoot. It's actually kind of idiotic. You'd think a shotgun would be best at close range, but shotguns have no wall penetration, so... I'll probably switch over to a different one. This one is going to be the Scar H. Scar H has 600 RPM instead of 650 with the FAL, but I have noticed that the recoil is a little bit more amiable with this one. You can control it a bit better. It doesn't mean you can actually like control the recoil at all, but it's not going to go flying everywhere. There have been times when I literally shoot around the target and create a crescent around the target's head. There was once when that happened with an FAL. So it is that's something you can appreciate, slightly lower recoil. It does also look closer to that of a real bolter. I'm not sure what inspired the bolter. But unlike in tabletop, in lore, it's supposed to be, you know, explosive face round. This, I might want to check the stats again, but from my personal experience, this does one-shot torso quite reliably, which is certainly something you can appreciate. So that means all you need to do is hit one shot. Okay, I'm gonna grab a nade. Oh, did I get him with the nade or the gun? Okay, since I only put a 20-round mag on this one, I'll keep this low. Before I ran pistols a lot, I used to run the Scar mostly, just because I really enjoyed the one-shot torso, and I'm not too much of a FAL or G3 fan. I was back when did they have the G3? I'm pretty sure they had the G3 back then. Certain things I don't really remember too clearly. But the part I really enjoyed was the one-shot torso, which when you're firing full auto at... Oh, I'm dead. Okay. And basically point blank, I feel like he would have shot me if he went through that door. I feel like my shoulder was peeking out the side. I have a tendency to run around with grenades and get myself killed. The one-shot torso is pretty good, but I'd actually say the Scar L is probably the best one out of this because it's more controllable. It also looks the most like a bolter, believe it or not. There's no real, I'm pretty sure there's like one FAL 30-round mag that is curved a little bit. Show up with all your LARPing needs. I really do just enjoy running around with a little bit of a hand cannon here. Well, it's not a hand cannon, it's not a pistol, but just a little bit of high recoil madness that will evaporate your target if you hit. Like, if you hit them even once, they die. Because chances are you're hitting the torso. I feel like I'm getting shot in the back here. Oh, that's my teammate with the flashlight. Oh, there he goes. Oh, did he just get smoked? Hold on, should I push that? Might as well. Might as well. He's covering my 6. I'm not sure what happens to them there. Oh, they're a bit outnumbered here. The Scar is slightly more accurate, like I said, but yeah, I'm dying there. No, I'm not dead. Okay, I guess the suppression got him. I forgot to mention that the suppression on point blank 7.62 shooting out of like an 8.9 inch barrel is gonna mess with their brain. They'll probably get a concussion from that. Just the sheer suppression on. I'm pretty sure there's a suppression stat in game, and I put the heaviest possible ammo on all of these. Not the heaviest, the highest armor penetration ammo on all of these. Brother. Oh no, he's good. I was like, what? I just saw him fucking kill himself. So you gotta go with the flashlight forward. I might push that. Alright. There we go. You don't have to spray and pray. You can just put a few accurate shots on there. Pretty sure the first one hit his leg, the second one hit his head, but I'm using irons here, so. Oh, speaking of which, you usually want to run irons on this. I mean, if you look at reference photos for a bolt gun, well, at least with the bolt rifle, honestly, the bolt gun usually always has no sights whatsoever, but usually with the bolt rifle, there'll be the auto bolt rifle with a drum mag, believe it or not, and iron sights, and then there'll be, I forgot what the other one variant was called, but I don't know what I did there. But the other one had a little bit of a scope on it. Now, what I've basically been mauling these guys around is your regular just bolt gun. Not too common in modern codices, but this one looks the most like a bolt gun. I could probably look at some more images to see if I can find some reference for the irons, or we could just slap like an IR laser on it. I'm not sure. Laser would give up my position a bit too easily. Now this one, it actually fires pretty slowly. It's a Scar L. It is in 5.56, so it's far more controllable. And I do appreciate this one, just because the arm penetration is so high for what it is, and you get more rounds. You get 30 rounds without an extended mag. Of course, one thing you could do is there's a 50 round It's going to make it really heavy. But there is a 50 round 7.62 drum mag that you can use if you so desire. Is it a good idea? Probably not. It's going to make your gun extremely heavy. But if you do need those extra rounds, it's there. I believe I used it at some point in the earlier days, but after a few resets of all the stuff in Deadline, I kind of lost that. But well, I kind of sold on that one. I don't think I hit him at all, did I? I completely whiffed all my shots, didn't I? Yeah. Oh no, I hit him twice. Well, it's 5.56, so it's not the craziest thing when it comes to damage. Just be sure to tap V for. You gotta tap it really quickly, because if you do it for like any amount of time and it thinks you want to check what thing you have, and then it just shows you what you have. Okay. This also has, I believe this has the highest penetration out of any of the guns that I've used, even though it's the weakest caliber. Got him. Oh, he's got a flashlight, bro. He's gonna get me killed. It has 1.16 studs of penetration, which is nice enough, I guess. It's acceptable. It can definitely penetrate through these thinner walls, but you might need some help when it comes to damage, as it's usually a 2-shot torso. The fire rate on it's okay, I guess. Here, I can show you some of the basic stats on this one. Here, 1.8 stud average. Oh, I guess I was wrong on that one. Hold up. I think I might have used the wrong ammo. 5.56 usually does, yeah. So 54 damage point blank. Leg damage, okay. Head damage, of course, always a kill. Arm, leg. Torso damage is usually the most important part. So you won't be one-shot in torso. It won't be that easy for you to one-shot torso here, but yeah. It goes to 1.8. 5.5. I think this is hollow points. What is this? Lake City. I mean 5.5A1. I thought M5 Alpha 1 would have a bit more punch behind it. Okay, so 1.8 is about as far as we can go. I think that's because I sliced off the barrel a bit. If we look at the Scar in this case, which is probably my personal favorite, it has 1.4, which is actually a bit lower. It does have the higher damage. Here, 92 torso. That is, usually feels like enough to one-shot. I'm not sure if it truly is one-shotting, but it usually does feel like enough to one-shot. And then if we're talking about the FAL, oh shoot, okay, if we're talking about the FAL here, it is hitting, yeah, 95. I'm pretty sure it does one-shot. It does feel like a one-shot. 650 RPM. The other two were 600, I believe. Suppression intensity. That one is probably something I should look into. You can get slightly higher damage, I believe. Yeah, but then you would sacrifice your armor penetration, which is not really very fun. Of course, I'm using about the shortest barrel you could possibly do. There's slightly shorter. That's absolutely atrocious, but this is decent. Of course, there's also a drum mag you can use. But basically, it's mixed 7.62 or 5.56. It sort of looks like a bolt gun. You got to use it full auto, of course, in proper bolt gun fashion, and then just smoke some people with it.